Welcome to Dead Bedroom Revival Podcast. My name is Corey, your host, and I am excited to be making this episode. This is going to be a very exciting one for me because I'm talking about one of my favorite people in the whole wide world, my daughter, and she is absolutely amazing. Yesterday, we went out training together. We've been training together for the past 3 weeks. And we've go out every Wednesday. She's an athlete, so she's competed for the county a few times, so she is reasonably. I think she's more above average. I think usually every time she's competed, she's always been the youngest one. They always group at least three age groups together. So last year she was 9, but then she was racing against 11-year-olds as well. So so she's so tiny, and then she's competing against these bigger kids, which is pretty good. So she doesn't place, but it's part of the process. And I'm saying about this because yesterday we went through a process. I decided to change up the training. We're doing speed and agility, and I wanted to get her to the point where she actually can really drive, you know, past the point of the uncomfortable situation. So when she's exercising, I say to her, we're going to do things a little bit different. What I'm going to do is that we're going to start the exercise. When it becomes very uncomfortable, you tell me it's uncomfortable, then I'll start counting up to 10. So really what I was trying to get her to do is really start um, getting to the point where she's uncomfortable, and then holding it for 10 seconds longer, so she can be uncomfortable but yet be able to push through. And this is very important with life. And I think when it comes to relationships, this is one of the most important things to understand and know. And this is the reason why I prefaced that, if you've grown up in a single parent home, you would have not seen some of these interactions where there's that uncomfortable situation where your mom or dad are in an uncomfortable scenario, and then you could have two parents within the home where they wouldn't be able to navigate through an uncomfortable situation. Somebody would yield and just go, you know what, just for the to keep the sake of a happy marriage, I'm not going to say anything, or because the other person is just going to go loud and then they're going to berate me, and so therefore I'm not going to be sitting in that uncomfortable situation, or at least I'll avoid that uncomfortable situation, which is very detrimental. And then if you get into your relationship now and you see yourself in this sexless relationship, a large part of it is the fact that you've not been able to see an uncomfortable situation, sit in it, and then resolve the actual issue. So, for instance, if you were talking about the lack of sex within your relationship, and then the other person started pointing out your faults, and then they started telling you that you are a pervert and you are not serious about the relationship, and therefore that's the reason why they don't want to uh, uh, be be having those encounters with you. Um, it can be very uncomfortable, and it can be very uncomfortable to start putting your point across again, because they've literally taken away the the valid points that you've put forward, and it can be very uncomfortable. But again, it's the ability to take that pressure and then still get to the goal, like my daughter did. She every single time she would say, "Daddy, I'm uncomfortable now, it's really sore." I was like, "Okay, now I'm going to start counting, now count up to 10 seconds." And she would keep going up until the end, which is amazing, because when we walked away, I said, what would you give yourself in terms out of 10? She said an 8. And I said, no, that's a terrible score. You were 10 out of 10, because every single time you did not give up. You got to the pain where you thought you're supposed to give up, and you pushed for an extra 10 seconds. And you have to think about it in life. It's not just in your relationship. You have to, even as an adult, have difficult conversations with a work colleague, with your boss, with your employee, with business partners. There's always scenarios where you are going to be having an uncomfortable situation, or an uncomfortable scenario. And those uncomfortable situations, if they're not dealt with properly, those are the things that eat away into your confidence, eat away at you on the inside. And it's almost like a cancer, because every time you cannot express yourself, or really put forward your point of view, it makes you feel less of a person. It makes you lack that confidence to really navigate and see you, or at least stake claim in with your place within the relationship. So this is a very, very important thing to consider. And when I think of the confidence that my built within my daughter and the conversations that we had, you could see that she was proud of herself, that she could just push a little bit further, and she now knows that she can be uncomfortable within the chaos, and like just that being still and really know that that you're okay, even though it feels a bit of shit, even though it feels like your sexless relationship is not going to change, but the fact that you can be uncomfortable with it and then endure it, and then really put your point across and really start doing the things that will make things work in the future. Because I truly believe you can turn things around. And most people, they sort of give in, and then when they give up, they spend the rest of their life trying to avoid this uncomfortable situation. And most of the times, most guys turn to porn, maybe they turn to drinking, maybe they turn to all sorts of self-destructive behaviors because they don't want to be in that uncomfortable situation. And that is so destructive, not for just you, but your family, your wife. And a lot of the issues that most of you guys face, they can be reversed if you can just stop, take stock of everything that you're trying to avoid because it's uncomfortable, and then you pursue it. And again, this goes into exercise as well. You've tried exercising and you gave up after a few weeks. Maybe you are like me a few months ago, that you wake up on a Wednesday and think, oh, you know what, I really need to train, but I'm not going to train today. I want to start on Monday. Then binge eat, and then again, when it comes to food, you're going to say, I want to start on Monday, and you never do it. And you do start on Monday, but then by Wednesday you've given up, and then you now want to do it again. And I spent many years of this because I just really wanted to avoid being uncomfortable. And the more you can embrace being uncomfortable, I can guarantee you the more you're going to start winning at life within your relationships, and even just in your physical appearance. So I've experienced a massive weight loss because I could embrace chaos. I could embrace being uncomfortable and just embrace and be comfortable inside it, and be confident that I can deal with every situation. And this is a very, very, I think, if I never say anything else on any podcast, and you've never listened to my podcast, this is one of the things that will transform your life forever. I can guarantee that. Because if you can, like, and this is why it's so important for me to teach this to my child, that wherever she goes for the rest of her life, she will know that it's just being uncomfortable. It's only chaos, but I need to be calm within this chaotic scenario. And it's something that she's already sort of mastered in a sense. Because I went to watch her doing horse riding the other day, and then the horse bucked a few times, and she just remained still and comfortable. And to be fair, she's had a lot of years of us really just um, pushing her in those sort of limits. So she knows that not to panic, and she knows not to react in any sort of react to negative situations. So this is an important lesson. Hopefully you take it the way it's coming in this lesson, and you really implement it in your life. And when you can implement this, I can guarantee you, you will win. So thank you very much for listening. Go to www.thebedroomrevival.com, where we will be able to give you even more trainings regarding this. I've not made any videos in the Facebook group, but I'm actually now I've got some loads of trainings that are sort of in the queue. So it's from next week. I'm just going to be banging out all these trainings. So I'm really excited to have made this episode, and hopefully I find you well, and you are going to go out and implement. And I can guarantee you, we're going to give you tools so you can really transform your relationship, and then you can have that loving relationship again. Thank you.